Hey all, Sean here, back again with another edition of Game On Cards and Collectibles. Hey, so it's been a little while. Wanted to jump on today to talk briefly about a vintage lot, well, semi-vintage, I guess. A lot of cards that I picked up from a coworker. Uh, Coworker of mine was talking about his card collection, sports memorabilia as well, but specifically in the card collection that he was trying to just move on past his cards. His kids didn't wasn't interested in having them, and so he wanted to just get rid of them, liquidate. And so I said, yeah, bring them in, bring them to work. I'll kind of look over the condition and put together a value, like a just an estimate on what I feel like they might be worth. So he brought them in, and I took them and I looked them over very carefully. I looked up the comps and put together a spreadsheet for him, so he knew exactly what he had. He had no idea. He'd kind of been out away from cards for a long time. These cards consisted of basically a binder of a lot of 1970s, a little late 60s, mid 70s, and then into the 80s. Mostly baseball, a little bit of football. I took the ones that I felt like had some value because they were either key cards or key players, and put together a spreadsheet, gave it to him, and said, here's what I came up with. So I asked him what he wanted to do with his cards, and you can look this over. At least now you know what they're worth. So if you ever take them into a card shop or a card show, you have that information. And I pointed out, said, here's some of the key cards that I would be interested in if you wanted to let them go at any time in the future. Let me know. And he said, yeah, I'm not really looking to hang on to these. So if you have a few that you'd like to buy from me, go ahead. So I have those with me here today. Show you guys what I picked up. So we'll start with the more recent cards. So here's a iconic card, the 89 score Barry Sanders rookie. And by the way, none of these are what I would consider collector grade. Probably not necessarily cards that are worth grading. They're iconic cards. They could be very valuable in a higher condition, but none of these are really in that kind of condition to consider for grading. But they're very cool cards that I wanted to add to my collection. So I gave him a fair price on them, and he took the offer. So here's the 89 score. Like I said, Barry Sanders had some edge wear over here, but it's fairly centered pretty well. So that's a cool card. Here's another one. We're going to keep going back in time here a little bit. 84 rookie Dan Marino. Obviously, this is you got a lot of off center here, right side and top side as well. But otherwise, pretty good shape. How about an 83 team leader, Walter Payton? Again, this one's in pretty good shape. It's decently centered. This is one that I'll have to look over a little bit more carefully. I still, again, it's got some edge wear, so I don't think it's worth grading, but very cool. And of course, I PC Walter Payton, so definitely interested in having any of his cards during his playing years. Here's an 82 in action. Decently centered. Here's his regular 82 tops. Nice card. How about a 77 second year? This card has some, I don't know if it's ink marks. It also has, bottom and right hand side are very off center, 90-10 probably on that one. But hey, second year Walter Payton, pretty cool. Also have the 77 rushing leaders. Peyton Simpson. It's got some off centering as well. Very hard to get these centered in these mid 70, late 70s cards. How about a Bruce Sutter rookie? Little baseball. A little bit off center. It's got some couple soft corners and edge issues, but very cool card to add to the PC. Now we'll get into a couple of iconic cards. The Johnny Bench Gold Cup, Rookie Cup. A lot of wear on this guy. Bottom, soft corners, and some creasing. There's actually some creasing up here you probably can't see through the camera, but very cool card. And then last but not least, 69 Hank Aaron. Again, not necessarily collector grade, but just good cards to have. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with these. When I set up at shows, I don't have a lot of vintage with me, so it might be a couple cards that would be, people walking by might catch their eye and come over and have a chat. So, yeah, I want to share those with you guys today. I'll be back here pretty soon with another video. Beckett. I sent some cards out to BGV after a long hiatus with them. I sent in some cards, hopefully to get those back at some point. And then maybe I'll do a top 10 list in my PC. I've been wanting to do one of those for a while, so we'll get that up here very soon. And we'll see you back here real soon. Take care, everybody.